Why is this? In other words, I'm looking at the leadership of your party, whether it's Schumer, whether it's Jeffries, whether it's others. Why aren't they asserting themselves? Why aren't they fighting to take their party back against these radical extremists? I mean, you have Islamists like Tlaib and Omar and others. You got a true communist. They call themselves democratic socialists. Bernie Sanders is what he is, and he hasn't hit it over the years. And now Mandami with his ties to Hamas front groups and CARE and the things he says about Jews, the things he says about America. I mean, how hard is it to speak up, even if it means losing your office? So what?
Yeah, I think that is the exact right question, Mark. I think the answer to that is weakness. And the party leaders are weak, and particularly Schumer's and Jeffries are both weak. At a time when we need a profile in courage, these leaders are bowing to the flying monkeys of the online hard left. You know, the Democrats, Mark, got their hat handed to them in the last election, mostly because they didn't have an economic program to speak of. They were trying to usher in a cultural revolution that nobody wanted. And rather than confront the forces that have led the Democrats into the wilderness, what the Democratic leaders are doing is bowing to those forces. So what do you get as a result? You get socialism, which is basically about giving free stuff to the downwardly mobile podcast class. You get a cultural revolution that nobody wants on both race and gender, that is far to the left of the median voter. You get a candidate like Mandami, who is not just saying anti-Semitic things, in my view, but has celebrated terrorist movement. And this is true for many Democrats. AOC, for example, embraced the Columbia University apartheid divest, which is a group that has called for the destruction of the West. So these far left ideas are becoming mainstream and becoming sort of the DNA where the energy is, where the charisma is of the Democratic Party. And all of these things are far to the left of where the median voter is. And what you really need at this point is, again, a profile in courage, which Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer don't have the guts, or I think the capability of doing. Somebody like a Bill Clinton, who came in 1992 and said to the far left in the Sister Soldier moment, you know, you're wrong on these cultural issues. You're wrong on these economic issues. And what we need to do is build out a party from the political center, which means addressing the things that working class voters care about. The fact that schools are utterly failing. Two-thirds of our students can't read and write. They can't do math. It means training the working class for the upcoming artificial intelligence revolution. It means moving back to the political center on a whole host of these cultural issues, which the Democratic Party, because it's been captured by the identity left, is incapable of doing. But the answer to your question fundamentally, Mark, is a lack of courage, a lack of ability to do the things that these leaders know that they need to do, which is stand up and say to the left that you're wrong, you're far to the left of the median voter. It would take the country to a terrible place on policy, and politically it's untenable.